Hey everyone, I'm Madonna Guy, and this is your tip of the day. Now, one of the things I have noticed over 30 years of being a naturopath and kinesiologist is that parasites and worms are regularly in people's body. Now, funnily enough, from the medical perspective, if they go do a sample of the urine or the poop or whatever, if they don't find it, they tend to say, no, 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 you don't have this. But the problem is that worms and parasites often live in the body in areas that we're not expecting them to be living. So, for example, if we get diabetes, quite often there are parasites in the pancreas. There are many things like liver flukes in the liver. We can even have things that cross the blood-brain barrier. And if you know anything about farming, which most of us don't, basically the farmers used to always do their anti-parasitic treatments around the full moon because you get your best bang for your buck. So I've got lots and lots of parasitic formula. This is a worming and parasite cleanse, but there's lots of herbs that are really good for parasites, things like black walnut hulls and wormwood, Paudiaco for fungus and candida, things that improve the digestion like gentian, herbs like garlic. There's lots and lots of things out there that are anti-worms and anti-parasites. And the thing is, when we have too many of these in the intestines, quite often, if they're not being fed, and they love a sweet, acidic environment. So if we're not feeding them, you know what they eat? They eat our neurotransmitters. So when we're feeling depressed or anxious or stressed, quite often it can be a sign that parasites or worms are in our intestines and they're actually depleting us of energy and nutrition and our neurotransmitters. So it's a really good idea to do, say, especially if you've had your appendix removed. One of the things the appendix releases is an anti-parasitic hormone. So if we don't get into the habit of cleansing this sort of thing regularly, we can have a buildup. And there's a lot of evidence to show when our body is really trying to keep things at bay, like parasites and worms, the immune system is not paying attention to lumps and bumps at things that grow in the body. So if you know what I mean there. So having a bioresonance scan and seeing whether or not you've got a lot of parasites or worms or candida or fungus growing in the body is a really good idea. If you've got a kinesiologist, get him to check it out. So basically making sure that you know whether or not your body is coping with these things is a good idea. And the thing is, most of us have got parasites at one time or another. And because there's so much in our environment these days, it's a really good idea to do a parasite cleanse pretty regularly. Really, you could do it for 3-4 days every single month. So because it can be linked in with stress and cravings, we're needing to eat sugary and processed foods because that's what they love, that sweet acidic environment. It can lead to things like anemia or iron deficiency. It can lead to everything from rashes and eczema and itchy dermatitis, acne, ulcers, sores, and lesions. Recurring infections like candida, so when we can't get those under control. Things like bleeding gums, hemorrhoids, anxiety, nervousness. For kids, it can be that grinding teeth while you're asleep or itchy bum. But it can also have all of the other symptoms that we would not think of parasites, like everything from asthma and breathing problems to heart palpitations, stiff and sore joints, being hungry all the time. So how often might we have parasites and worms and be sent down an entirely different route medically? So anyway, it's the sort of thing that regularly I do bioresonance for people. If you want one done, let me know and I'll let you know the costs associated with different programs associated with. But anyway, have a great day. That's my tip of the day. Get those parasites and worms under control. Have a good one.